Hello and welcome to a different kind of tutorial video. You may or may not remember that in my last guitar tutorial, the one for Leading Me Now by the Tallest Man on Earth, I did not use chord names to explain the song, but chord function names. And that got me thinking, maybe I should do a video in which I explain these chord function names and what they are exactly and what they do. So this is the first of these music theory tutorials that I'm planning on doing. And please let me know in the comments if you like them and if they are useful to you or if not. And while we're at it, please drop a like on the video. It would be an immense help. But back to the topic on hand. So music theory and chord function names. So this video will be about the basic three chord functions, and those are the tonic, the dominant, and the subdominant. And we're going to start with the tonic. In the beginning I will use G major as the tonic, but I will talk about other keys. So this shall be our tonic for now, G major. So this is the tonic is basically just the key in which the song is written. So usually the song will start with this chord and usually it will end with this chord, but not always. There are exceptions to that. And all the way through it will kind of evolve around this chord, the tonic. So G major. And to find the dominant from here, we will just have to go 5 steps up, so then we end up at the D, and when we build a major chord on the D, it's called, well, D major, sounds like this, and this is our dominant, 5 steps above the tonic. The dominant kind of leads back to the tonic. When I play them back to back, you will hear it. This becomes even more obvious when we add a 7 to the dominant, like this. It begs for a resolution, basically, so... And by the tonic, it will be resolved. So that's the dominant, and what it's for. The subdominant is 4 steps above the tonic. That's the C. So when we build a chord here, it's a C major. That's our subdominant chord. The subdominant does not lead anywhere specifically. It's more for evolving the melody in different directions of your choosing. So when we start with the tonic, and after that have the subdominant, from there you have options. You can go back to the tonic. You can do some fancy minor stuff, which I will cover in a different video. You can just go to the dominant itself and from there lead back to the tonic. So the subdominant, is the chord that will give you options to evolve a melody. These 3 basic chords, they build the most basic chord progression as well. Works like this. It's tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic. Once without talking, so that you can hear it better. And there are lots of songs that use this very progression. That's why they're the basic 3 chords, basically. So yeah. On the guitar, it is relatively simple to find your subdominant and dominant chord. You just take in G, for example, your bass note, so our G, and go 1 string up in the same fret, and then you have the subdominant. When you build a chord here, it's a C, so we have here our subdominant chord. And the dominant is just 1 whole step above the C. In our case, the D, yeah. this works for other keys as well. So let's take F. We are in the first fret on the 6th string, so we have to go to the first fret of the 5th string. There we have B flat. This is our subdominant. And 2 half steps above that, the C, our dominant. Or one more example, when we have A as a tonic, open A string, the same thing, one string above that, so open D string is our subdominant. And 2 half steps up from there, an E, so you get the E chord as your dominant. And with minor chords it works basically the same way, with one little difference. So when we take A minor, for example, so open A string, one string above that, open D string. Now we build a minor chord here, so D minor, our subdominant, and one step above that, the E again. So we could use the E minor, but as a dominant it does not do the job of leading back to the tonic as well as a major chord. So we will use E major instead as the dominant, and this leads us back to the tonic. So the difference here is we have a minor chord as a tonic, a minor chord as a subdominant, but we use a major chord as the dominant. So there is one more important question. Why is it actually useful to know this? Well, why should you even bother? So a little story for that. Some months back I was jamming with a friend. She was on the piano, I was on the guitar, and we played this little song. You might know this. We played it in A major, so it's like this. And great song. And I had the idea of this little transitional downward movement like this. So then I thought that it would be much easier to play this in G. So I took my capo and put it on the 2nd fret and then played it in G, because now with 2 half steps up, a G chord would be an A chord. For a guitar player, it's still, we think of it as a G chord, but it actually is an A chord. So the G chord, and then I can play it like this. It's much easier this way, but still really pretty. So that's why I kept playing it in G. But now every time she said the next chord is a D chord, for example, I would at first play the D chord, so what I was thinking of as a D chord, which is now an E chord. So wrong chord. So I had to think, okay, I have the capo on 2, so when she needs a D chord, I have to play a C chord. Okay, so this would be actually a D chord now. And this was pretty confusing for me. I'm not that great at reading sheet music, so do it all with my ears. And yeah, pretty confusing, maybe for you now as well, listening to this. So I asked her, please stop using the chord names and use the function names instead. So she would not say we need a D chord, she would say we need the subdominant now. And so I would know in my system it's a C chord, and it worked out pretty well from there on out. So yeah, I could use the capo in a totally different position and use a totally different chord system. And when she would tell me play the subdominant chord, sorry, play the subdominant chord, I would know what to do, because I know this kind of theory stuff, and that really comes in handy. And I think in songwriting as well it comes in handy when you know what chord does what. because it makes it easier to test your song in different keys with different chord systems, maybe, and see if it sounds better or not. When you just know what kind of chord function you need in this position. Yeah, so that's why I really think it's useful. Let me know in the comments if you do too. Let me know if you understood it at all, what I was just explaining, and if I should do maybe add some stuff or explain it differently. And let me know if I should do more of these theory tutorials. I would certainly like to, so if you would like me to do more, let me know. So see you then, and take care.